George.
Hey, Domry. Good
How are
morning.
you?
I'm
Good
okay. How are
morning.
you?
Good. Hey, thanks for agreeing to jump on the live stream with me. I'll let you know I'm having some work done on the house today. So I'm outside sitting on my front porch. But I live in North Carolina, so it's probably going to hit 70 degrees out
Oh,
today.
beautiful. I was just gonna say, at least you can go outside. I have a blizzard, and I think -2 today, so enjoy it.
Yeah, you're up in GTA, Greater Toronto area,
About an
right?
hour north of Toronto. Yeah,
Oh, an hour north
up in the
even.
boonies.
Oh, fun. I tried to mail Tammy from our team. She owns porting and PMing for those of you that are listening in a package yesterday. And because of your postal strike, they
Yeah.
wanted one UPS wanted $70. FedEx wanted $260 to mail a small package.
Oh
I
man,
told Tammy I'd unwrap it for her on camera and that she could get it next
that's the best way to do it. It's all virtual now. It's fine.
yeah, yeah. So, hey, it's been a couple of weeks since we did one of these, and I know we wanted to keep our partners and communities on top of what's happening with SIPPIO Beacon.
Mhm.
And you entered us into the beta phase right on time and on schedule because George is always on time and on schedule. So why don't you tell us a little bit about how Beacon is being? And is he behaving? Is he smart? Is he back talking you? Like, what's he doing? There's
So
she.
far, so good. Yeah, so far, so good. It's behaving very well, answering a lot of questions, which is great, providing a lot of great recipes, which apparently a lot of people are liking to ask. But yeah, no, so far the beta is going really well. We got some really good engagement. We're doing a lot of testing, a lot of learning as well. We're basically teaching Beacon kind of like a kid, right? How to answer questions, where to kind of look for questions, how to segregate data and things like that. So it's been actually going really well. No bugs yet, so so far so good, and we're on track to do our full GA release in January. We're really
Okay,
excited.
great. So what are some of the data sources that you're feeding into the Azure AI to learn from?
It's a good question. So we load up all of our marketing documentation, so you can even ask it questions like, how would I market SIPPIO products to my partners or customers? It would know those by grabbing that information. We've loaded up a lot of our internal documentation. So you're able to ask it, for example, how do I place an order in the portal? How do I create a customer? How do I create a partner? We've also loaded up a lot of Microsoft documentation as well. So if you have any Operator Connect
Nice.
questions, for example, yeah, you can simply ask the question, how do I add a user to access my Operator Connect portal, for example? We'll walk you step by step right through the process. Very simple. We're also expanding out the documentation that we're providing it as well. You're going to notice in the next few weeks, we're going to start to add pricing information as well, so you can start asking Beacon about different products. So, for example, how much would Voice Connect be in Turkey, for example, or how much is Enterprise Connect DID cost in Brazil? And
Oh, that's
it will be
great.
able to give you those answers. Yeah. So little by little, as it matures and progresses, you're going to notice a lot more information coming in and a lot more capabilities.
Yeah, no, that's great. Our rate card is simple but complex at the same time, just because every country, their regulatory agencies handle things different.
Exactly.
And everybody wants the nuances, but anytime you bring nuances in, it just makes it look a little bit overwhelming. So if you can just ask it the question, because
Yeah.
I know we get a lot of questions, especially in Asia Pac, to quote 5 seats in Korea or 10 seats in Thailand or whatever. So that will really, really kind of simplify it. So
Yeah.
good.
And
So you've got Ted in the pre-sales team involved in their asking questions based on what they do day to day, I would assume.
exactly. Not only that, they're also asking questions that they see a lot. Questions that people ask our support team, they're asking Beacon to make sure that it has all the proper answers when it goes live. We're also going to start to integrate all of our ticketing in there as well. So we'll have the history of all the previous tickets and support issues that we have had. So it has the context to answer the questions based on the previous issues.
All right, really neat. Yeah, but I will plug our support team though, because we get this question a lot, and I think that we have like one of the lowest
Yeah.
support overhead and ratios in the business. I think we get something like 0.004% of tickets compared to the number of active seats we have.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and our support team is great. They get those things done super quick.
Yeah, and they have full-time jobs. If you're old enough to remember the Maytag Man, that's what I always refer to our support team um, as. So good. Okay.
Yeah,
So can I get in there and ask it a bunch of questions then? Because I
please.
have things I want to ask it competitive questions. I want to ask it about AI. I want to ask it about itself because we should probably start to see if Beacon can develop a flavor of a personality.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. It's that's what it's there for. So go nuts.
Okay. And
Yeah,
to do this, all I do is go to the portal, log in, and click on Beacon. There's
that's
nothing
it.
else.
Nice and easy. Yeah, just
Okay.
click on the beacon icon on the right hand or on the left hand side, excuse me, and off you go.
All right. And it's typing right now, and then voice is going to be slated so I can talk to it
Yes.
later on in 2025, right?
Yes, yeah, we will have voice two-way communications. You'll be able to speak to it, and it will be able to respond to you back with voice as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah.
So, since we haven't talked in a while, and I know you just got back, just wondering how did the Cabell show go?
All right. Yeah. Because last time we did this, we were prepping for
Yeah,
that. It went really well. It was
great.
really interesting because out of everybody at the show, the only two people that were really talking about AI were myself and Microsoft. A lot of people were still focused on traditional phone type of features or process that needs to happen in
Hmm.
migrating data from old PBXs to Teams or Zoom, which is definitely important. But I felt like we've really taken a giant step forward in moving away from that. Um, and I was really happy to see Microsoft come to the table, and their focus was entirely about Copilot and phone system. Because I know a lot of people think of Copilot as things to answer emails or follow up on action items. And they've really adopted the talk track around it being a data source, like
Hmm.
we think of it as, and talking about how it'll change the nature of a phone call in the future. So them and us are the only ones that I see discussing that, today. Obviously, others will hop on board as they come around to that way of understanding.
Yeah.
But AI is literally, changing everything that we do and how we do it. It's kind of nice at home because I have my husband using Copilot versus asking me random questions about things that he could have just Googled. now, now if I have like take out the trash reminders, let the dog out reminders, that would be as good as well. Um,
Yeah, and it's good to hear that it went well. And I'm glad that Microsoft is really starting to talk about it because I know you've been talking about it for almost a couple years now. So it's nice to see Microsoft getting on that getting on that talk track as well.
well, and it's really important for them and for Zoom to adopt it
Yeah.
because it will promote additional sales and adoption of AI. And, they're the 80,000 pound gorillas or maybe 8,000 pound gorillas in the marketplace. And people tend to look at them for what to follow and where to focus their efforts.
Hmm.
And if they're not talking about the old days of PBXs and switches and things like that, but they're talking about the new days of enhancing the workers' experience, I think collectively that'll make the whole boat float higher for all of us that are in this space to start looking at the future and look at migrating off of those old legacy phone systems
Yeah.
because a lot of them have been, in place. I like to joke since I was in high school or elementary school, but it really is time to start looking toward the future and where you're going to go because if you don't have a good platform or base, it's really hard to adopt any of those
Yeah.
features. And if
Exactly.
you aren't using all of your data sources or all of the tools, it's just not giving you the ROI of your investment in Teams or Zoom.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, the information, the tools are there. We got to use them. So, that's great to see. Definitely.
okay. Any secret projects you're working on?
Secret projects. Well, we actually just finished a sprint today. So we have a lot of new features and quality of life improvements coming in our next release. If you want, I can give you a couple sneak peeks. So we will be, for all our Canadian partners, you'll be glad to hear that we have now automated some portions of the porting process. So in the portal, you'll be able to
Oh,
begin the
great.
port in Canada. Yeah, you'll be able to fill out
Yay.
the AOA, the LOA, excuse me, get it signed all digitally and all automatically, so it takes that piece out. We're also going to be working on these last few weeks of the year. We're also going to be working on automating activation for new numbers for Canada and the UK. So that's going to be really good news for our partners as
Okay.
well.
Now, that sounds like you're ahead of schedule.
A little bit.
The roadmap was clear on the end of Q1, so that's
Yeah,
great because we're sitting here at the end of Q4. We've had a great 2024. I'm looking forward to
absolutely.
2025. And
Me too.
George, you're doing a phenomenal job. Thank
Thank
you
you.
to you and your team and for jumping on. I think this
Absolutely.
is our last maybe jump on until the new year. We'll look to schedule one once you're ready to go and move from beta to
Sounds
what's it
good.
called, GA or alpha.
GA. Yeah.
GA. And we'll introduce everybody to the new solution and the new features of Beacon in that session. And then we'll probably also do some more traditional and scheduled webinars for everybody to
Yeah.
come in as well. But I'll leave everybody with this. If you're a partner or a carrier or just somebody that's curious and you'd like to see Beacon or experience for yourself, you can drop us a line at hello@sippio.io, or I'm Dawn-Marie at sippio.io. Happy to get you and Beacon connected and introduced. We'd love your feedback and your input for what types of questions and answers you'd like to see out of the tool. And we've got a couple of holidays coming up next week. Christmas and Hanukkah, I know, are the same day this year. And there's other holidays that are celebrated around the planet. So I'll wish everybody happy holidays, regardless of what and where you celebrate. Have a safe and enjoyable time off and recharge and regroup, spend time with family, friends. Don't get into too many arguments with your mother-in-law. Eat lots of cookies and pie and all that stuff. So,
Absolutely. Have a happy holiday, everyone, and I hope you all have a great new year, and we'll see you in 2025.
yeah. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks.